Well, hey everyone, welcome to week 4, No Perfect People Allowed. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. It was very challenging. I had several people reach out and say, this is a challenging chapter. And I agree, it is a challenging chapter. But when we think about the purpose of groups, certainly what we hope to accomplish in groups is our people would take their mask off and that they would be vulnerable and authentic with the people who they decided to walk through life with. And we definitely go over that in our leader orientation with our leaders. And whether or not it happens in our groups is anyone's guess because it's a work of the Spirit. If someone feels they're comfortable enough in the group that they're in to take off that mask and be who they are. So the way I like to think about it is, there's a point, like if we want to use this as the point, where this is who we want our society to see us as, right? We want to project ourselves as this. We have it all together in this area, this area. We may show a couple of chinks in the armor, but we pretty much have it all together. So this is what society sees. Then there's this over here, and that is who we really are. So who we want society to believe we are, and then who we really are. And the gap in between those 2 points, we have to manage that gap. So this image that we have is managing the image. So image management, I think, is what we see a lot of in group life. And there's a reason I want us to go through this book, because I think the book can help us break down some of those hardened, callous parts of our character that we just really haven't given much attention to. And I think this is one of those areas, authenticity. So can you imagine what our groups would be like if we named reality? So after reading this chapter and we were to think of the Tias of the world and say, you know what, there are Tias in our groups right now. What would it look like if we name reality? And we were to say, he puts on page 77. Remember, John is talking about how he felt very indignant that there was a pastor in the area that made fun of Gateway for watering down the gospel for group seekers. And then John was driving around, and he saw churches going up in the ritzy part of town, and he himself said, I can't believe they would do it for the ritzy part of town, start churches only in those areas. And then the Spirit convicted him as saying, hey, you're a hypocrite. You're doing exactly as that other pastor did to you. Well, he says, well, why did I do that? He says, because I am an insecure, struggling, judgmental Christ follower. And if it weren't for the grace of God mercifully confronting my shallow, unloving heart, I would just stay blind and stuck. I wonder if we could take those words, and if there were people in our group who we could look them in the eye, look ourselves in the mirror first, of course, and say, I think you're blind and stuck. Maybe we talk about it as a group. Is our group blind and stuck? Are we just managing our image when we come and have community here? Or is this pseudo community? Is this fake community? No one's being authentic. No one's being real. Sometimes I think we have groups at Rush Creek that are like that. How do I know? Because I talk to people and I ask. And the stuff I'm hearing is, I don't hear stories like Tia's. I hear stories, nothing like Tia's. Nowhere where the mask is completely taken down and it's saying, I have stuff going on in my life that would scare the paint off a wall. It's just bad. But my group is walking along with me. My group has not forsaken me. So here's a question. Could Tia be comfortable in your group? Could Tia be comfortable, have the space and place to walk through her journey of faith in your group? If not, maybe we name reality and say we're blind and stuck. But can you imagine if our groups turned a corner? Could you imagine what it would look like in your group if everyone took the mask off and said, we're here for surgery. We have got infection in our soul and we need to have some surgery to get it out. The Spirit is working with me and I need this group to carry me on the mat for this season of my life. So my question for you in this video is, what's it going to take? What's it going to take for you yourself to get real, name reality, and if you're blind and stuck, say, Spirit, I'm blind and stuck, I need your help. If you're not, if you're self-aware and you're in tune with the Spirit, how can you encourage others? What's it going to take for them to take off their mask? So I hope you enjoyed this week. It was very challenging, and I'll see you next week.